Ooh, we're off. Listening to the king proclaim the quest for the heroes here. We'll look in these 3 chests. One is guaranteed to be a key to open the door there. A harp right out of the way. And the Erdrick sword they're starting with, and that is one of the ways that we can get off to a very fast start, because plus 40 to whatever their strength score is, and you will be guaranteed to be able to do significant damage to all the early game and some of the mid-game enemies right out of the gate. Here's now. We'll be quickly trying to move through these early levels. Home so far, and Druin, no problem, 16 damage for the Druin. For Edgeworth. HighSpirits finding lesser enemies so far with the Drakian Ghost, and he levels up as well, so first spell, and it's heal more, and having a healing spell early will allow them to begin a little bit away from home. Look at the map on HighSpirits screen, and to the east there's nothing but ocean, so figure out in their mind or sometimes on paper where they've been and where they need to go by exploring the overworld for unique locations, most of which they'll need to find by the end of the game. So Edgeworth seems to have better luck finding slightly stronger enemies to fight with that Erdrick sword. Poltergeist is a good choice. Used his meager starting MP to cast heal more, so he's got work with after leveling up to level 3. And another Poltergeist goes down, so he's quickly out to level 4. A very small and early lead for Edgeworth in the experience learning department, but you know, too early to call. Could easily go back and forth just depending on what enemies they run into. A good choice here, 25 experience for the skeleton. HighSpirits finally finding a scorpion. He's found some so far, and we have HighSpirits on level 4 now as well. So the Silver Harp is one of the 3 quest items that they'll be looking for. They are going to need the Silver Harp, Winds of Sunlight, and the Erdrick's token before they will have access to the final dungeon to having the sword early is interesting because they may get in a situation where they won't really need to open all of the chests, and they could potentially skip or other locations if they already have everything they need. Their hand is guaranteed to be on one of the 3 search locations, either in the town of Cole on the overworld requiring Cantlin, in the town of Hawksness, which would be guarded by a boss there. So, and I believe we have the Rainbow Drop Cave for Edgeworth, so he'll note that for later once he does get all the quest items, plus he'll know where to go with those to have access to the lair. And HighSpirits finding the same location, and so they're right on each other's heels with. I think the map seems to be funneling them up in this direction. Mostly dead ends in the other directions. Too strong to fight here. Unsuccessful run attempt, and back to the castle goes Edgeworth. Penalty for death, of course, is losing half of your gold. A bit of a time penalty when it comes to racing, because you have to listen to the king lecture you. And you have to restart from the castle. Move through areas that you've already explored in order to get back to making progress. So, he's dealing with that now. Looks like he is mapping his way out. We have the southern border to Tanteagle Castle, and HighSpirits walks right by Charlotte Castle. So now he'll know where that is for the end of the game. Well, you have everything you need, and you don't know where Charlotte Castle is. So that won't be tripping him up this time. So Warlock's no problem for High Spirits. The Erdrick Sword really helps with tackling quite a few enemies early on. Both players making good use of that, knowing which enemies are still too hard and which ones will provide quite good experience, like this Droll Magi. He's worth 58 experience and very close to another level as High Spirits. Both players are already up to level 6 and change into the race. And a werewolf is one of those enemies that may be too difficult to fight right now. And Edgeworth takes another death, while High Spirits is going to find a town here. Not before reaching level 7. MP boost along with some more spells. Getting the heal spell, which sometimes is useful for conserving MP between battles instead of heal more. And he'll make his way to the boss of hoping to find the armor quite early here. He's getting pretty low on MP, but there are a couple of enemies that he could potentially use of the heal more spell. Red Dragon maybe is a little bit out of reach, and being ambushed here doesn't help either, and he's quite hard to run away from as well. So now High Spirits knows Parting Hawksness, and he'll probably already have in his mind we'll need before going back there to defeat that Red Dragon. How many more levels, how much more strength, a little bit more HP would help, a little bit more MP in order to cast Heal More a few more times, and so on and so forth. So he'll have a plan in mind for that. Meanwhile, finding an Armored Knight and spell at your disposal, they are quite formidable. Quite good enough yet. In full exploration mode now, trying to find those locations. You have 8 towns to find, including Charlock and Tantegel Castle, as well as 8 caves or dungeons or types of locations as well, 2 of which will be attached to either Tantegel basement or Garenham's basement, the town of Garenham. So not a whole lot has been found yet, but we're just 8 minutes in, exploring and mapping their way across the world here. I think High Spirits is having a little bit more luck now in this stage of the game with the enemies he's encountering. He's taking less deaths along the way here. More mid-game enemies now that can be vanquished with the sword. Dangerous either. And we have a metal slime here for Edgeworth, but unfortunately it runs away. He's already leveled up to the point where the metal slime is capable of running away, so no early metal slime kill just yet. Meanwhile, High Spirits finding he's going to take a dash through here if he can get through this wizard, but no! Wizard puts him down. As we saw, he did the same to Edgeworth moments ago. Let's see if High Spirits explores off in a different direction, or if he's going to go right back to that swamp cave to try and get through there. Because one of the things that can happen with the swamp cave, especially early in the race, the other side of the swamp cave could backdoor into the backside of Garenham or into the Tantegel basement, and that will give you early access to keys, and can be quite an advantage because it opens up access to about additional treasure chests that you wouldn't otherwise have access to. There's 4 of them right there in the of Tantegel Castle, and there's 3 more in the town of Garenham. So 1 in the town of Rimeldar. as well. And without keys, you're pretty much trying to find one of the two dungeons in the game, which one is the mountain cave, which has access to us no matter when you get there. And Garen's grave, access to 3 treasure chests, and there are 2 additional chests behind a locked door. So, more treasure chests you can reach and open as quickly as possible, the faster you will to those 3 quest items that they will need in order to have access to Charlotte Castle. As you can see here, it's surrounded by a moat bridge to get across and into the castle, and the bridge can be built. An item called the Rainbow Drop, but you can't get the Rainbow Drop without those 3 quest items. So now Edgeworth finds Swamp North, and he's going to take a dash through to see what's on the other side. Good luck avoiding enemy encounters, and just the lowly poltergeist stands in his way here. That's no problem. Hopefully he can avoid the wizards. Through, so let's see what he finds on the other side, and it's a big old swamp. He's greeted by a golem, which blocks his way, and golems hit really hard at this stage of the game, and he blocks him twice. Because golems are fairly easy to run away from. They're big and strong and slow creatures. Usually you can run away from golems. Edgeworth, because he maybe didn't care about exploring that swamp region anyway, and now he gets to re-explore he had begun drawing out for himself. Too big of a loss there for Edgeworth. He knows what's on the other side of the swamp cave now. And there's a town sighting now for HighSpirits as he reaches level 8. Another utility spell for him, but no hurt more yet that I've seen. Both players having to swing the big stick so far to do any damage. We have the town of Garenham, which is a pretty big development. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of gold just yet to spend. But the small shield and the clothes. Obviously not needing to buy any more weapons for the rest of the game. He started with the best weapon in the game. Meaning 190 to buy a dragon scale and perhaps some torches and herbs. And we'll watch does indeed don the dragon scale once he's finished with this shopkeeper. Another werewolf for Edgeworth, choosing to heal up before attempting to run away, but hitting him hard. Perhaps he knows that the mother ability, nope, now he tries to run, is unsuccessful, and another death for Edgeworth, so getting a little bit unlucky there. Didn't catch if HighSpirits did don the dragon scale. I assume he did. And he is hills of the western regions here. Run away from the lesser enemies like Drakeys. You'll see a lot of racers starting to do that later in the game when it feels like it just the dialogue that you have to sit through while you're beating an enemy like that is just not worth the time for such little experience that you such a small monster. So as they get further and further along and they become more and more powerful, they'll have an idea of monsters, more and more monsters that they will just run from. And this little isthmus here seems to be guarded by, and HighSpirits shaking his head here, a little bit frustrated. He has a face cam on his stream, and he is slightly annoyed with the situation, but off he goes. Exploration. And again, a golem blocking Edgeworth. First peek at the the stats we're looking at here, if I can get a good refresh on my... I have to wait for that, it looks like, but... Wondering... Scores have remained really low because they're having some trouble even running from golems right now. HighSpirits taking on a Star Wyvern with the Erdrick Sword, feeling like he's able to withstand 2 attacks, and he does just barely do so. Lucky that the Star Wyvern didn't kill him. Instead, he chooses to heal himself. And now, I don't think he's going to be able to take him here. I'm not sure, but he does he gets into the heal range again. Battle with this Star Wyvern, now breathing fire, so he's going to go ahead and try and attack again. Healing again. HighSpirits yelling at the screen, wondering why this enemy is still alive here. He's hit it several times now, but finally able to get the 105 experience. Kind of an epic battle there. I feel like he got a bit lucky that he didn't get killed by that Star Wyvern, but... And now HighSpirits, this is the Swamp North again. I'm sure that this doesn't backdoor into access to keys, so he's going to continue going through here. Last time, and then a wizard again ambushes him, and again takes him down. Wow. Really run troubles for both players. I peek, and we have, let's see, level 8, 24 agility. I guess that's a fairly low score for this level, and is probably why they're from enemies such as golems and wizards. But 100 attack power already with the sword. So they can start to try to fight some of these endgame enemies, but it would help if they had a little bit of defense. With the defense score of... If we have Edgeworth's equipment correct there, that's... You're going to be taking maximum damage from the endgame enemies right now. So let me refresh back to current, and Edgeworth finding the town of Rimildar, so... And HighSpirits right behind him. Advantage when it comes to early keys, because they're both there at the mark and change. Both players on level 8. This is a close race, and continues to be close. And I missed... Edgeworth may have bought there from that shop, and I also missed if he bothered to look in the treasure chest. Just going to check out the shop now with his 12 gold. He's going to make a note. I believe the full plate and the large shield are available here. Both would be fairly decent to get in your travels. Start to acquire gold the old-fashioned way. If they can ever acquire some more agility, sometimes you can make do with just the large shield. Score stays low, resulting in a low defense score. Look for both players to take a look for the silver shield, and Edgeworth now finding the Sunlight Cave with a gold chest nearby, and he's choosing to repeatedly plunder the gold chest, which we would refer to as kind of a ghetto gold grind. And this could be a way for him to buy it and the large shield that we just referred to, which is sitting over at Rimildar where he just was. HighSpirits does the same. He finds the same cave, unfortunately running into a blue dragon. Oh, and unfortunately, wow, and he's alive? Oh, and he survives the blue dragon assault. And he's going back in, so we have dual gold chest plundering happening. And 3,500 gold being plundered by Edgeworth. Desperately trying to evade this Demon Knight, healing himself up. this is kind of a critical time. They both want to get back to Rimildar with this gold in hand. If you take a death, gold. And Edgeworth manages to survive that battle, healing himself up, going back in again. Side by side ghetto grinds here, and HighSpirits going in for less gold, maybe just looking for the large shield right now. The full plate, after all, will eventually be replaced. Well, he goes with the full plate, alright, and didn't take enough gold with him for the large shield. Large shield now for Edgeworth, and the full plate. I wouldn't be surprised now if HighSpirits realizes that and goes back in for one more trip to the gold chest. Missing it? Did he already have the large shield, perhaps? I don't recall. He has the small shield, so... out the large shield for now is HighSpirits. So both similar equipment, the Erdrick sword and the full plate, and a shield. Silver harp early in the game, and now both players have keys at about the same time, and they're both at a similar experience points. So this is a very close race. Locations that they can use these keys on, and now that HighSpirits has died to the Blue Dragon, I think we might get to see what's in the treasury at Tantegel Castle here. Taking a look, and we have the Stones of Sunlight, and there is a gold grind available on the middle chest. Quest items now in possession for HighSpirits. Click on keys and check the basement. Locations he would probably like to find right now is the Staff of Rain Cave, so that he can get that out of the way. Or it could easily be one of the two dungeons in the game. I don't think we've seen either of the dungeons yet. The Mountain Cave or the... I have the Mountain Cave in the basement of Tantegel, so... HighSpirits, wasting no time, has those 5 additional treasure chests on his mind. You hoping to find the Erdrick's token here. The token, of course, could be in a chest, or it could actually also be on a search spot. But in addition to hoping for the token, useful items he might find include the Fighter's Ring, which would give you +2 additional attack power, or the Death Necklace. I believe neither player has found the Death Necklace yet. That's an item that, in this game of Randomizer, has a special feature where you can sacrifice some HP in order to gain more attack power. It comes into play sometimes towards the end of a game if you're lacking in attack power, and you have excess HP to sacrifice. And we have both players basically on the exact same tile of the Mountain Cave at the same time. Plunder this first chest. Demon Knights and Wizards are being fought here by both players. Successfully so. Nothing too exciting in the first chest. Both will be going to the second floor now, where the additional 4 chests remain to be. Potentially go straight into a gold grind now. If any of these chests hold, I think we will find ourselves in gold grind status, because they've opened the 4 treasure chests in the treasury, and then they went straight into this basement. Let's see if that's the case here for Edgeworth. So he's not sure actually what he found there, because it's not necessarily the wings. It looks to be perhaps an herb. So he's going to stock up on... Oh, it's not an herb. Well, he plundered it a couple of more times. Was it a torch, perhaps? The lesser items, and we're seeing the same effect take place with HighSpirits, where he's going to have to try and figure out what it was, and I think it was a torch, actually. It's interesting. They both already have the full plate, and they both already have the Urgic Sword, and I don't think either player has seen a silver shield. So if they happen to a gold grind situation here, and unfortunately Edgeworth takes a death from a hurt more from a wraith, but if they find themselves in a gold grind situation here, I wonder if they would bother to grind for silver shield money. It does take a few minutes to do that, and they don't know necessarily where that shield is at this time in this seed at all. And both of those chests, that there was nothing in it, and I had a thought there, but it's probably wrong, so I think we'll stop right there and watch this epic battle with HighSpirits and the Wizard, and he survives on 1 HP, so he will be able to go see if that 5th chest is something useful, including a potential gold grind, which he may or may not follow through on. So Edgeworth into the dungeon and making his way toward the lower level. And it is a gold. And HighSpirits choosing not to bother with the gold grind, casting outside instead. So off into the world he goes. Either player finding anything particularly useful in that dungeon. I don't even think there was a fighter's ring or a death necklace. Trix token was not there either. So, just one more location. I believe Edgeworth just found the tablet, which doesn't even exist in Randomizer. The tablet being replaced. Other more useful items in this game. So that was interesting effect from the gold glitch. HighSpirits moving due north towards this town, which I believe he's already for. It is the town of Garenham. He will look on torches and herbs here. Edgeworth thinking about whether he wants to grind on this gold chest, facing that same wraith casting hurt more on him. It's going to... Okay, well... He is not... With that gold chest, seems to be trying to death warp out of here, or maybe he's trying to just grind on these enemies. Maybe he likes this grind zone. God, I missed what was in the treasure chests in Garenham. Did he find the Erdrick's token by chance? This looks to be the tablet cave. He does have the spell of outside, so he'll save half of his walking time once he gets to this chest here. And he wouldn't, I don't believe he wouldn't be going in here if he had found the token. So no token yet for, that is what he's looking for now. Let's see, did anyone catch what was in the chests in Garenham, the town of the back Garenham? Just curious if you happened to find the fighter's ring or the death necklace back there. And both players making better progress now. They're both a bit stronger and the shield helping quite a bit to some of the mid-game enemies, and they're one-shotting or two-shotting these enemies such as Wraiths and Druid Lords. We've reached the western edge of the world by HighSpirits, looping back around through this swamp. Choosing not to fight the blue dragon at this time, but he's unable to run away so far. You have to heal more spell to try and get 2 chances to run, but it may not be enough, and it's not. Blue dragon biting straight through the full plate and the shield and taking him down in 2 hits. So levels are a little bit of a problem for these racers right now. If they had 80 or 90 or 100 hit points, you would see that situation play out a lot differently, because they would be able to heal up in between run attempts, or they could potentially try and take down an enemy, healing in between attacks. Right now with only points maximum, some of the enemies they can face are still dangerous. Both players now probably find Garen's grave as quickly as they can, as of the remaining chests in the overworld. There are 3 chests immediately available and 2 more behind a locked door, and they both have keys for that. In addition to the grave, Rimildar, so they should have both checked that chest in that town. And they've both seen the contents of the Stones Cave. Racers has seen what's in the Tablet Cave. And so no other chests remaining except for the ones in the grave, I believe. So the is either in the grave or it's on one of the search spots. I feel like I remember Hawksness being reached earlier in the race by at least one player, and I wonder if it's time to go back there to try and take on that red dragon. Because you could find either the armor or the in there. The other possible search spots for the armor include the town of Cole. Don't believe either player has found that yet. And location, you won't know where to look until you've visited an old man behind a locked door in the town of Cantlin. To do by these players finding some of these overworld locations so that they can make more progress towards finding the armor and the token. Looks like HighSpirits taking a crack at that armored knight. Almost dead even right now on experience. 2401 for Edgeworth. Well, now he's up to 2521 and 23 and change for HighSpirits through level 11. Access to heal more and sleep and a couple of utility spells. No hurt more just yet, which would help for a couple of additional monsters that they'll encounter, including the Armored Knight. Mostly, they just want to explore and find those locations. And what do we have for Edgeworth? There's a nearby cave, as well as the town of Cole, I believe, unless I might be way behind. Let's see. What does he have here? What is this cave here? To try and refresh that view that I have. High Spirits in the same area. Alright, well. High Spirits now has traded in his Silver Harp for the Staff of Rain, so we can check that off on the checklist. And I believe he knows where the is, so as soon as he finds the token, visit that location to acquire the Rainbow Drop. And he does now get that large shield, so large shield for High Spirits, and I believe they have now. And some fairy water purchases for High Spirit. Or having learned Repel just yet. And he will also be learning the coordinates here on this visit. So with the coordinates in hand, Spirits maintains his position, walks out of the... So he's going to take an in stop and continue exploring this region. And I looked away for a minute, and I am not clear what's been going on with Edgeworth. Has he found the grave? Because that town was not the grave, it was the rain cave, so... He may indeed be in the grave, and we have a level 12 now for Edgeworth. No spells being learned, so no hurt more just yet. And High Spirits deciding to return now to Tanteagle and begin his count. Made a mistake, so he's backtracked a little bit. Going through the grasslands, it's hard to tell exactly how many squares you've traveled if you start moving quickly. So he's going one square at a time now. Runs into a Druid Lord who's trying to disrupt his mental math. Takes him down quickly, and he's resuming his count. A little bit of a twisty-turny path here, but High Spirits does not seem to be worried about that. Northwardly turn now, closing in. And this could be the Fairy Flute, or it could be the armor, or it could be the token. Since the coordinates were there, it's pretty much guaranteed to be one of those three things. And High Spirits has lost his count. So he will try again from the castle. He's counting now again. Sometimes when you end up in these battles along the way, and they don't have, well, he is using his fairy waters now, getting bombarded by monsters, it's hard to keep track of your count. So he's trying again with the fairy water, but he won't face as many encounters from small creatures towards where he was. And sometimes you can look at a landmark and make a note of coordinates in case you do lose count and you have to start over. Spirit's making his way north again. Edgeworth, I believe, is still in the same location near this stairway. I'm not clear on what his plan is here unless he really likes this grind spot. probably closing in now on this count. It's a fairly lengthy count to do without the princess, but for confidence this time is getting closer. Stock of fairy water to assist him, and he's coming up on a coastline now, and he's going to be doing an area search, and he has found Erdrick's armor. So the methodical counting has paid off for HighSpirits through these swamp tiles without any damage, among other the armor. Heal 1 hit point for every step you take. One less thing that you have to find before the end of the game. So now just needing the token in order to complete his quest. And again, that can be on a search spot, or it can be in a chest. The grave yet. And I was guessing that Edgeworth was in the grave here, and I'm not why he is not moving through here. I'm not sure. Maybe he's hoping that he will learn the spell of Radiant? Do they have Radiant? I thought they did have Radiant already. I don't know. Because it's not on our status window, I'm not sure. What I think of is that he didn't have any torches, and he wants to Radiant on this next level up. And unfortunately he's died now to the Demon Knight. Unless he's setting up a gold grind. I apologize, I kind of missed what he was doing because I was watching HighSpirits on his count, so I don't know if he cleared some treasure chests in there. Alright, well, no gold grind for Edgeworth, so he is... Oh, and he is on his way, presumably back to the same area. This Armored Knight is a struggle when you don't have Hurt More and you don't have a lot of hit points to work with. Erdrick's armor equipped and a large shield, taking 33 damage sometimes from this Armored Knight, and it's probably a favored to win at this point, but you could have a problem if he hits you hard twice in a row. So for HighSpirits, and it's the Eterni map, and I don't know that HighSpirits necessarily draws maps while he plays. Won't have too much trouble finding the last few areas that he needs to explore. And he now is back in Hawksnest. This is what I thought maybe he would do a level or two ago. But he knew where Hawksnest was. He found it early in the game. He knows there's a red dragon there. It's also going to be a struggle because, again, they don't have the hit points to do attacks in between healing against an enemy as strong as a red dragon. So this is not a sure thing. But I think it's a good idea for him to try, because if the token is here, he won't even need to find the grave at all, and he won't need to explore it at all either. Checking out if he can defeat this red dragon boss, and in order to do that, he's got to get past this Armored Knight first, and expending a lot of MP that he's going to need in that red dragon battle in the process. So again, he's going to just attack one more time. He seems confident that that's enough, but he's going to have to heal more up now. Unheal more left. I'm not enough against the red dragon, so let's see. He's doing 26 damage. Red dragon hits him softly this time. Does another, and now he gets hit for 41 damage. Problem when you have only 65 hit points maximum. it could be a little while before that battle becomes winnable, at least as a sure thing. And try and go after that red dragon again, or does he have other things that he can do in the meantime? Spirits now has seen all of the other chests in the game besides the ones in the grave. Does not yet know where that is. And another cave here for Edgeworth. Is this the same one he was just in? Spell now. And it is the grave. Huh. So maybe he was in a different cave last time. I apologize, I did not follow what he did before. But now he's found the grave. We have the cursed belt, the gold necklace is in the grave. Now this seems so far to be a very low HP seed, so it may not come into play. But if we get in a situation where HighSpirits finds the token at Hawksness, even bother going into the grave, and so he won't find the death necklace if that's the case. Possibility that later in the game the death necklace could come into play, and that would favor Edgeworth at this point. And wizards seem to be a very good enemy stage, and maybe that's what Edgeworth was looking for before. But he's exiting this cave now, choosing not to go to the bottom levels of the grave. He does have the keys that would allow him to do so, but it is a little bit of a, if you go down there and what you're looking for is not down there, so unless he went down there earlier and I missed it, he's choosing not to go to the bottom levels of the grave at this point. Edgeworth is on the north edge of the world, while HighSpirits has restarted from the castle. And I'm pretty sure that HighSpirits has found, except for the grave. And Edgeworth, anything that he hasn't found yet. I wonder if he has found the Rain Cave, for example. Looking for that. On our graphic here, it shows that he has not yet traded in the harp for the staff. Unless I have them backwards. Maybe I have them backwards on that. I apologize if that's the case. Brockenary also does not have the silver shield. There's still with a very low defense power score. Probably was a silver shield available at this point, and I wonder if he's going to check all of the shops here in Cantlin as well, including the third shop behind the key door. Action. HighSpirits is hunting for a silver shield now, and there is one available behind the key door in Cantlin. So is that worth setting up a grind for? Yeah, plundered the grave, so if he happens to find the grave, he could kill two birds with one stone. The three quick chests on the top floor, and then setting up a gold grind from there. Using to get more fairy water also on his stay over. Okay, so I'm catching up on the chat, and I believe that sounds like we think that they both traded in the harp for the staff. I was fairly certain I saw HighSpirits do it earlier. Actually, okay. Just trying to make sure I was refreshed here, and I see Edgeworth going after the red dragon, and oh my goodness, red dragons also have Dragon Lord breath. Yeah, this is a formidable red dragon right now. Wow. Edge didn't have the armor yet. He's taking like about 70 damage from that Dragon Lord breath. Potentially could be easier because he has the armor. Edge is going to want to find that which is on the overworld location. He needs to visit the old man in Cantland to get the coordinates, if he has not done so already. And another physical attack for 41 damage against HighSpirits, and he is frustrated. It's tough for him because I feel like he wants to know if the token is there, because you can a lot of time looking for that grave if you don't need it. Exploring it, that could be a big time sink. So if he could just make sure that it's not there at Hawksness, I think he would feel better about it now. 13, they have the Hurtmore spell. I missed them learning that, so level 13 has Hurtmore. Such enemies as the Armor Knight, which is running around in the town of Hawksness. And it will make some of the battles than swinging with your sword. Potentially, as green dragons or werewolves can occasionally be one-shot by a Hurtmore spell. Usually not the case when you swing your sword. It'd be kind of a bonus spell in this seed, since they did most of the work with the sword. Whereas other times when you learn it early, it becomes and it looks like HighSpirits now choosing to revisit is already cleared because he has that silver shield in mind. They have very low defense scores, and he thinks that that is going to be a factor, so he's okay with... I apologize, he is casting outside. Alright, what is he doing? He's going to grind on the... I'm not 100% sure that the grind glitch remains in effect when you cast outside. I guess I'll find out now. That would be a new one for me, because... Oh, it does. Alright, it works that way as well. That's a new one for me. Side, the gold grind glitch remains in effect. Saves a little bit of time in the process. Didn't have to death warp out of there. He is grinding his way to silver shield money. He knows it's in the... and interestingly enough, Edgeworth, having the same thing in mind, also checks the same shop behind the locked door in Cantland, and he has now learned where the silver shield is hiding as well. He is on his way to buy that now, presumably, and Edgeworth is now going to learn the coordinates. Give a slight lead in the various errand running to HighSpirits. I think he's completed a few more of the necessary tasks. He's doing a safety save here in case he runs into something that ambushes him and kills him for some reason. This juncture, he probably is not going to die too often anymore. He has basically everything that you can get from the game to make you as strong as possible. A little bit light on some of the stats, including hit points, but pretty much nothing left to fear in the game. Play as quickly as possible. Back to Cantlin for that silver shield. And now let's see how able to handle this count. It was a kind of a lengthy count, and it's a little bit of a twisty and turny path. The other way that you can go about doing that is you can go into the swamp cave and you can rescue the princess. Do as an item what essentially amounts to a compass, so that you are on the world map, and you can use that to find the armor that's sitting on the overworld. And just right now, Edgeworth is going to the rain cave, so he did not yet have the staff in hand, but he has it now. Both players missing the token, which presumably is either in the bottom levels of the grave or is on that spot at Hawk's Nest behind the red dragon. And so we'll have to watch for how Edge goes about finding this armor. Both players are needing to find the token. Pretty good race though, both keeping up with each other on the experience front here. And just, in fact, Edgeworth experience lead now, moving to level 14. Boost finally. They were lacking on agility. So plus 12 for agility on level 14 is a welcome sight. Still, maybe go ahead and go for that silver shield, but HighSpirits, of course, already has that, so he has a lot less to worry about as far as defense power. Even with that agility boost, 53 agility, so start taking my first look at the stats while they're running around doing these things. 120 attack power now for Edgeworth on level 14. Looks like 98. That ratio doesn't quite hold up as far as being able to fight the Dragon Lord yet, but we're getting to the point where he's going to be looking at those stats every level up now. Of course, if they don't find hit points in some of these level ups, it's moot. They are going to have to get more and more and more levels until they get some more hit points. So that's the story there. The defense power is a little bit less of a fast requirement if you fighting the Dragon Lord with a low defensive score. You can be successful if you have adequate at your disposal, but without hit points, it's pretty much a no-go. So, I'm sure both players, and that I think has been kind of the major challenge with this seed, really, is the lack of hit points, because kind of enemies like this, like these armored knights and also the red dragon guarding Hawk's Nest, they just don't have the hit points to deal with absorbing huge attacks from these big monsters. So level 15 grants them with a big HP boost that they so desperately need right now. Werewolf here is a good example of where Hurtmore can help quite a bit, successfully one-shotting the werewolf. Especially with low defense power, breaking these kind of enemies anytime soon, and they're going to swing and hit you for 25 or 30 damage. We see 30 damage from the blue dragon here. So anytime you can one-shot, or if that Hurtmore can work out well for you. Spirits is moving on to level 14 as well, and he's going to have to go back to an inn soon to heal up. Not right now. At the same time, both players are try the Blue Dragon Hawk's Nest on level 14 now. So these red dragons hit hard, Lord Breath, and they're virtually immune from hurt more. Other spells such as sleep, and you pretty much have to be able to out-hit them. And they do not have a whole lot of hit points, and Dragon Lord Breath takes down HighSpirits. He had 42 hit points, but that Dragon Lord Breath, relatively low. I don't know if it's a 25% or a 50% to get that Dragon Lord Breath, but he is frustrated by that. So back to the castle goes HighSpirits, and we'll see if he goes back to try again with this red dragon, or if he wants one more level. Gain some more hit points, they will be able to take on this red dragon. Unfortunately, there's not any other grind. And it looks like Edgeworth is actually choosing the town of Hawksness itself to do his grind. Now that he has Hurtmore, these Armored Knights might be one of the best things that you can grind on in the game. It's pretty much a sure kill if you start with full hit points. It's 2 Hurtmores, assuming you don't miss with a 1 in 16 chance of missing. Seem to be popping up at a fairly high frequency, and Magiwyvern, because you can one-shot them with Hurtmore. There's his sword here, but that's another 83 experience, so maybe Edgeworth's idea is that he can't take on the red dragon with this hit point total. Maybe level 15 will give them the hit points they need to do so. Because he's already seen at least most of the grave, I'm not sure if he fully cleared it. Better idea that the token almost has to be here. And so he's content to grind as opposed to maybe doing any further exploration. Now let's see if HighSpirits can figure out grind. Red dragons certainly are not grindable right now. He is struggling to get away from this red dragon. Edgeworth extending his experience lead, taking down another Magiwyvern. He's got almost 1,000-point experience lead, so he's probably going to be the first to level 15. The hit points, I would expect him to go directly to fight the red dragon. After he's going to have to go heal up first right now, but level 15, and that seems to be the plan for Edgeworth right now. Spirits. These red dragons are just torturing him. He is just struggling, and he bites the dust again. So it's interesting. You have the Erdrick Sword, you have armor, you have the Silver Shield, you have Hurtmore, you have basically everything you could want in the game, and the red dragons continually torture you because you do not have the hit points as attacks. It's just so frustrating. You feel like you're so strong. You just can't make progress. Be going back in the direction of Hawksness now. Meanwhile, himself back at the castle, quickly restocks on keys, going back into the basement. And what did we have here in the basement? I believe this was the mountain cave. Maybe he has his mind at this juncture, because he already cleared this cave. So I expect the only reason for him to be doing this is to get that Silver Shield. Already completed this task. This will take him a couple of minutes. He is fighting some decent enemies along the way, so not losing too much of his lead experience-wise. As long as he takes down these Magiwyverns and Demon Knights along the way, this probably won't hurt him. Pretty quick walk back to Cantlin to get that shield. And then about a minute or so to physically do the gold grind itself. So efficiently you can take care of this task while HighSpirits is out in the overworld taking down Armored Knights anything else that he can find to grind on. I think he's decided that this is his grind spot. A similar zone to what Edgeworth found in the town of Hawksness, where armored knights are popping up quite often. Double hurt more technique to gain very efficient kills for 172 experience a pop. Level 15 so that they can finally take on the red dragon. HighSpirits is a little bit further away from 15 than Edgeworth is, but he's making progress. Has maybe 2 or 3 or 4 more mid-level enemies to go that he'll find in this cave. Seems to be wanting to grind his way to 15 while he's in here. That might be a mistake. There's not really that great, and he thinks better of it now. And didn't see how many chests he opens, but I believe in gold grind mode here. So on his way back across the castle. Meanwhile, another repel being thrown up by HighSpirits so that he can mostly take on this armored knight, and he is moving into the experience lead while this is happening. He's less than 500 points behind Edgeworth now. It bites the dust. He has more to go before he needs to go back to an inn and rest. However, and I believe this is the exact same zone that Edgeworth found in Hawksness, with the added bonus that you can cast Repel if there was a third or a fourth enemy that's not worth your time. With Repel and concentrate on the Magic Wyvern and the Armored Knight. So good grind zone found by HighSpirits. He's getting low on resources, so he's making the trek back to a town. And meanwhile, we have the safety save for Edgeworth. He has Silver Shield money. And he's taking the shortcut out by casting Return. He will be making a beeline. Cantlin. Nine minutes into this race, it has turned out to not be a particularly fast race that we thought it might have been when you have a level 1 Erdrick sword at your disposal. There have been some various challenges along the way, mainly, and the low defense power has caused more deaths from both players as you would expect. So straight back to the grind zone goes HighSpirits. He is going to take on more Armored Knights. He gets these last few points. He needs 7,500 points to get level 15. One more Armored Knight will do it. This Magic Wyvern not quite enough, but he's one battle away from now. And a virtual tie of experience points right now as the Silver Shield is purchased. So this race is close. Token turns out to be in Hawksness, and both players are going to get it at almost the same time. This is going to be a photo finish down to Charlotte Castle. This race is heating up, folks. It's getting exciting. And we have level 15 now for HighSpirits, and he's back in Hawksness for another attempt on that red dragon. And he does have 80 hit points now. Quite enough to guarantee that you can get through this red dragon fight, but it's better than what he had. So let's see how hard this red dragon hits him. And now he's guaranteed just to stop spell the red dragon. Interesting move there, just in case he has some sort of heal more along with his Dragon Lord Breath, and he's going to do the smart move of double healing anytime he gets hit with that Dragon Lord Breath. P to take on this red dragon. And he's done it! Let's see what he finds under the search spot. And Edgeworth is fighting the red dragon as well. So, to revisit the Jerk, or the Rainbow Drop Cave, this might be it right here. Similar strategies for Edgeworth. He's necessary. He's being very patient with this battle. He should get him with this strategy. The dragon, he now finds out that the red dragon does have heal more, so stop spell. He immediately blocks the spell. He's healing up. He's got 50 MP to work with. He can heal himself 6 more times. He double heals here. He's going to double heal again, triple heal. He needs to find some space in between to attack. He has to heal again. He's now in danger of losing to this red dragon, but now he gets a chance to attack. 2 or 3 more attacks to finish him off. Maybe 2 more now. Has heal more after all, so he's got most of his MP back, or his HP back. Oh my goodness, he's down to just 11 MP. Another Dragon Lord Breath, so he's on his last effort. He's going to get at least 1, maybe 2 more chances to take on the red dragon. Oh, and thankfully the red dragon's trying to cast heal more. That spell is blocked, and well done, taking down the red dragon on his last possible effort. He gets the token as his reward. HighSpirits has made his way to Sharlock, grinding in Sharlock Castle. Edgeworth needs to find that drop cave, or re-find the Rainbow Drop Cave as quickly as possible, and they will both be on their way to Sharlock Castle. Let's take a look at their stats. But we did not get any power gain on that last level up, on level 15. Still both players with 120 attack power, assuming neither player found the... which I believe they did not. So, looking at 101 MP to go along with the 120. They're going to need a little bit more power before they can fight the Dragon Lord. They're going to need more HP before they can even think about fighting the Dragon Lord. And so the Death Necklace that one of the players found is likely not going to come into play. The magic number for hit points is usually about 97, which is enough to withstand 2 Dragon Lord Fire attacks in a row. Yeah, unless they get some more agility or shield. We're looking at defense, and I'm not sure if Edgeworth ever actually did buy and equip the Dragon Scale, but he's showing 79 defense. But assuming they have 81 defense, that is low enough so that the Dragon Lord can actually do 1 damage physically. So ideally you'd like to have a little bit more than 97 hit points in that kind of a situation, although you could probably work with it if it was only 97. You'd probably find both players going for it in that situation, assuming they have enough power. And the Rainbow Drop is in hand by both players, and it's just a race now. The appropriate level to take on the Dragon Lord, and they're both experienced. We have a slimmest of leads for HighSpirits. He's in the high 8,000s, while Edgeworth is in the low 8,000s. Of 3 or 4 enemies at this juncture. It's a close one, and right now we have Edgeworth making his way down to the lower levels of Sharlock Castle. is grinding on the upper level. He's, however, using Hurt More to defeat enemies, so he's not making this dive with the intention of fighting the Dragon Lord. Perhaps sometimes it's good to see just what types of enemies you will run into on the lower levels, especially when you have a low defense score. You want to see how devastating some of these run attempts are going to be. We see Stonemen popping up on this first underground floor with Hurt More. Edgeworth struggling to fight the Stoneman. Sometimes a Stoneman can be kind of a inefficient enemy to grind on. Able to get the 155 experience there, and immediately faces another one and decides, just like I mentioned, that it's slow to fight a Stoneman. Chooses to run away from that second one. Axe Knight, a much more efficient enemy. You have Hurt More. Unfortunately, he somehow misses on his Hurt More attempt there. 1 in 16 chance of doing so, but he's going to get him on his second try. 130 points for the Axe Knight. Closing in on level 16, you need about 9,750 experience points to reach that level, and he's going to be looking for a very large HP boost and a medium-sized power boost. Things at the same time, it will be go time. Otherwise, he will be grinding. If he gets very little or no HP, he will grinding for more levels. The HP is almost a hard and fast requirement. There's almost no wiggle room. That statistic. That blue dragon kill we have, level 16 for HighSpirits, power +6, hit points +15. This is going to be very close now. Taking a good look, we have 126 and 102. We have 95 hit points. It's a low defense score still. Very close, I believe. Let's see, 126. That is just probably not quite doable because there's virtually zero chance of double attacks with 95 hit points and low defense scores. You could have some high damage rolls that could put you over the top, but at 126 you were doing 6 to 13 damage on the Dragon Lord. Dragon Lord can have anywhere in the range of 150 to 165 hit points, and doesn't quite work. HighSpirits not going to bother with that risk. He's going to grind one more level. At this point, I believe this is the kind of scenario where you should consider fighting your way down. Unfortunately, there are not very many weak enemies in here as far as we know. Edgeworth would know better because he's seen most of Charlotte Castle at this point. If there are any wizards or Star Wyverns, there's Star Wyverns on the lower level, as we see here. Not even defense breaking Star Wyvern yet, I don't believe. You need 86 defense to do so. So fighting your way down when you have very low defense statistics is much more difficult because you're not defense breaking the weakest enemies except maybe for the wizard. And looks like Edgeworth maybe is going to take a look in here for the fighter's ring. Good move, because as we can see, this next level up is borderline. If you had the fighter's ring, you could probably win on level 16. Maybe not ability in. And he's going to have to somehow get past this red dragon fight in order to learn if the fighter's ring is there. Oh my goodness, this is an epic battle with this red dragon. He is struggling to get away, or maybe he's trying to fight it. Oh my gosh, one more fight attempt. Can he get him? Oh, and he's in heal more mode. That saves him. And he takes the red dragon down. Can he make it to these treasure chests to see if the fighter's ring is there? He uses his heal spell. He could potentially use some herbs here as well if he wants. Oh, and another red dragon. Unbelievable. He has one more chance to get away. And he does not get to see if the fighter's ring is there. That is potentially devastating. I'm telling you, that could actually put this fight over the top. If you had 128 attack power instead of 126, you might only need about 104 magic points. They have 101. It would be really close if they had the fighter's ring. Rather, I guess, on level 16. It would be really close. Not quite enough. I mean, you'd probably not be favored. I think you would have a shot. HighSpirits, bothered with that. He's staying on the top floor. He's grinding on whatever he can find here. I feel like he should go back to that desert tile where he found those armored knights. Because some of these other enemies that he's running into here, like the Stone Man, is just not really that fight. But deciding that the top floor of Charlock is the best grind zone for his map, and you know, where he needs to go back to heal, and where he's at experience-wise. And I wonder if he gets close. He needs 12,000 experience for level 17. I wonder if he depletes all his resources here, and if he's close, well, he has 90 MP to work with, so he'll get it. I was thinking maybe you have to heal. Like, let's say Edgeworth now uses about half of his MP, gets to 11,000 or 11,200 or 11,500. Maybe he would choose to fight his way down from 16. He's just now, he's just now getting to 16. So very good look at that. I wonder if he would consider actually going for it on this level. It's so borderline. It seems like it's not doable, but it's close. So another good look, and he is sticking around the top floor. He knows it's not enough, or he feels it's not enough. But I'm curious if Edgeworth now, he has 63 MP to work with, able to get out of here and go heal up when he's at least, let's say, 11,000, and he needs only another 1,000. Consider fighting his way down, instead of taking another trip back in here, and then another trip back to the inn, and another trip back in. If it works out for you, it could save a couple of minutes, and that's what this race is going to be decided by, just a couple of minutes. Just 1,000 or so experience apart from each other. HighSpirits is closing in on level 17, which surely is going to be the one. They're so close already. Any little bump in almost any statistic for him to go at level 17, and he needs about 2 to 3 more fights with those stats and see where he's at. If he gets about 6 more power, it's go time. A pretty good HP boost, and I mean, there's a lot of scenarios. He gets a couple of power and a pretty good amount of HP, and he finds the fighter's ring on the bottom. That could be enough. If he gets a really good MP boost, giving him a couple of more heal mores. Werewolf here will not be enough, but he's one battle away. Level 17. Let's see what he gets. And we have only 2 power, but 15 hit points and another 8 MP. And I think this is go time. Or look at our stat window here in our no defense boost. So double attacks will be a little tricky, but he does have a little more hit points. Wow, look at this. Close. 28. I think that HighSpirits really should go on this level, assuming he can make it down without running into too many red dragons. Again, if he's got to burn even 1 or 2 heal mores, it's a big problem. That low defense score and the low agility, and the presence of red dragons and other tough monsters, this is not a decision to go on this level. If he can make it down there, it's a close fight, but he's probably favored to win as is. The fighter's ring in that weight difference as well. Now, the difference between 128 and 130 attack power is not that difference as far as unfortunately, as far as the damage you're doing. The difference between 7 to 14 and 7 to 15. So sometimes an additional 2 power is worth more than that, and sometimes it's worth a little less. So it may be that helpful here, but it's just a little bit. It could make a slight difference. And I think the real key, he's going to be able to get down there with full MP. The low defense and low agility scores and the presence of red dragons looming. Defense breaking anything in here except potentially the wizards. He's got 6 herbs to work with. Wow, this is a good race now, guys. Edgeworth surviving the blue dragon assault, but no. One last thing. So here's the situation again. This is what I was talking about. Edgeworth is 700 points away from a level up, and he's got lots of MP. This could be a situation. But no, he's burning some MP just getting out of the castle, so he does not have that on his mind. Sharlock is relatively close to the castle, so it's not a deal to have to come back and heal up. But I think that maybe was something he could have thought about in this situation where you do have a lot of MP, because if you're just looking for like a power boost, something like that, you could fight your way down. With the low defense score, it's much more difficult to avoid taking damage while you fight your way down, but he could have thought about, but he elected not to do that. He'll be going back to an inn to heal up after he gets these last 500 or 600 experience. And meanwhile, we have a red dragon encounter now for HighSpirits, and he is really upset about it and not able to run away. He knows that if he burns this heal more, it is a big problem. He does burn it. Oh my goodness, that makes this really tough now. With 100 MP now. Wow. I don't know. So borderline now for HighSpirits. He's continuing on though. What a race, and another red dragon, and he knows he can't burn another heal more, and he is unable to run away. And this is a situation where he may be forced to go for another level, despite the fact that the stats show that they can defeat the Dragon Lord. You might not be able to get down there. Tough decision now, and I think when something like this happens to HighSpirits, he was almost there. He's got to feel like, oh, there's time lost and all this, and more time if you try and grind another level, obviously. So they both might feel like they're behind. We've just crossed the hour-and-a-half mark on a seed that started with Erdrick's sword, so both players feeling like they might be behind. And Sharlock deaths. If one of these players can get through the gauntlet of the red dragons on low agility and low defense power, and borderline MP to get the job done on the Dragon Lord. decisions here on the end game for both players. And one more level could make a huge difference. You never know what the next level will bring. You could get 20 agility on the next level. You could get and power boost to the point where you can burn 4 or 5 heal mores on the way down. No, or it could be an empty eye level where you get 0, 0, 0, and 0. It's a risk to grind for another level. It takes time. Is probably trying to dive into Charlock at the same moment. Dragon encounter for HighSpirits. Let's see how this one goes with low agility. Unable to run again. It's down to 34 hit points. Tries to run again. Well, now he changes his mind. He's going to use the heal more. Let's see if he runs successfully now. This has got to be just a pit in your stomach. Now you've burned a heal more. Not even sure if you should continue diving. Oh, borderline now to try and fight the Dragon Lord with how many heal mores is that? It's he's down to 12 heal mores now against the Dragon Lord. When you're doing 7 to 14 damage. If the Dragon Lord happens to have low HP, or if he happens to have high HP, that could make a difference. Unfortunately, he finds another red dragon. Whew. I don't know, guys. Lucky and get through this gauntlet, but I think they're going to have to go another level. To do that, when you know you have the stats to beat the Dragon Lord, it's so brutal. And Edge has closed the gap with experience because obviously HighSpirits has been running from everything that he can, just trying to dive down to the Dragon Lord, and he has not been gaining experience. So far, I think both players are trying to just run. Edgeworth decides to fight anything at all. He's running from the Axe Knight. They're virtually tied right now. They're at the exact same point on the map, with the exact same level and stats, and the only one remaining task, which is to beat the Dragon Lord. Not even able to get past the Axe Knight, though, is Edgeworth, so we're going to have a lot of Charlock issues here. I don't know if they're going to be able to go on this level, guys. This could be a time sink, this level. This level 17 could be a giant time sink. But if you get enough run luck in your favor and you just get through those last couple of floors, you get some encounter luck too, where you don't get the red dragon, you get all the other enemies. Maybe you can get there, maybe. It's not like it's a 0% chance of getting there, but it's certainly a tough task. It's, yeah, I'm seeing mention of the fighter's ring again in chat. Was just 3 steps away from finding out if the fighter's ring was down there. Know if it's there. HighSpirits, I believe, never plundered any part of Garen's grave in this race. I think that Edgeworth only plundered the top portion. 2 chests. I could be wrong about that point, though. On 1 hit point, compelled to use a heal more, keep running, and he's going to keep failing against this red dragon. Finally does run away. Not using any of their herbs yet that I've noticed, but wow. Very slight lead on the actual physical race down through Charlock. Floors below, simultaneous Star Wyvern encounter. Successfully. Is even an encounter like a Star Wyvern can be a problem because you're not necessarily going to be able to run, and you're not defense breaking them. Let me double check. 17. Yeah, they have 83 defense power even with the silver shield. because if you get one more level, get to the point where that silver shield actually makes a difference for you. And interesting, going to use the herbs now because he's on the last floor. Not going to search for the fighter's ring, bypassing it. And a red dragon death for Edgeworth, so things starting to even out from that front. HighSpirits, this is maybe his 4th or 5th dive already. Edgeworth has been in there 2 or maybe 3 times so far. Again on the bottom floor. Is he going to get past this red dragon? He can't burn any more heal more. Surely he needs to maintain the rest of his MP. He's running again and he can't run again. His last chance. He gets away and he uses his last herb. He is going to be running into this mini-boss battle potentially with no herbs and low HP. Even the Star Wyvern doing significant damage along the way. A brutal dive, and he is able to get away from the Armor Knight on the first try. Steps away from the mini-boss, and hopefully it's not another red dragon, the Star Wyvern doing some damage. Is he going to risk a heal walk on the grasslands? No, he's going for it. It's an Armored Knight, and he's not going to use Hurt More. He's going to see if he can 3-shot the Armored Knight. He just doesn't have the attack power for it, though. I don't think it's enough. Let's see. Get him in 3 hits. So all is not lost. He's going to have to... Well, he burns the heal more. He burns the heal more. This is almost definitely not going to work out, but he's going to try. He could potentially use a hurt more strategy down here if he knows he's not going to get it. It's enough double-digit attacks right off the bat. He's, I think, doing about 7 to 14 damage on the Dragon Lord 2. Good Dragon Lord 1 battle. Maintains full HP. And he is pissed. He is visibly very pissed off in his face cam. It's completely no chance now. Quickly he moves to a hurt more strategy. So far he is just attacking. Trying to get some big damage rolls. He's going to have to get a lot of 13s and 14s. He rolls a 9 this time. I'm going to use hurt more. He literally has to try it. He has no chance to win this fight. Well, there's a 13. It's about as good as he can ask for. Maybe he wants to try and get about 100 damage. Finish him off. I don't know that he's going to be able to do that. Reserve. I've lost count, but not enough damage. And Edgeworth now making a very good dive here on 17. He's on the very last floor now with all of his MP. So if HighSpirits fails here, we have a good chance for Edgeworth, but he does face a red dragon here. And he fails running the first time. Red dragons. He has decided to attack his way through the red dragon battles. Strategy. Is he going to be able to get him in 4 shots? And it's an excellent move, but it's dodging him! It has dodged the excellent move. He burns a heal more. And now, remaining for HighSpirits to be using them to cast Hurt more. Now he has a decision. I've lost count. But it was possible there to do 150 damage. I don't think he was there. Maybe somebody in chat has an accurate count. Back to the castle was HighSpirits. Unfortunately, he had to burn a second Eelmar on the way down. And Edgeworth has found real problems against this red dragon. He is going to be unable to fight the Dragon Lord now at level 17 also. So HighSpirits is not out of this yet. Edgeworth is going to be unable to... He's maybe now going back for the Fighter's Ring. Interesting. By Edgeworth. And that could potentially come into play if they both grind another level. decided he is done with Sharlock. He's going back to his desert grind spot. I think he's going for level 18. Well, he does need to restock on herbs. I may have spoken too soon. Let's see if the fighter's ring is down here. I did not see the fighter's ring. Does anyone else see the fighter's ring? I missed the very first chest, but I don't believe the fighter's ring is down there. So we have either the vanilla chest for the fighter's ring, or I wouldn't be surprised if he walks his way back up for the fighter's ring in the vanilla chest, maybe checking for it. He has no chance to beat the Dragon Lord. He's doing some good grinding right now. He may be actually deciding now to fight his way towards level 18. Now that he has half of his MP lost, he's at 12,800 points. He needs 14,000 for level 18. Seems to be attacking and fighting his way through these armored knights. Maybe he'll walk his way back up to the vanilla chest to check for the fighting ring. And neither player has checked the bottom of the grave as well. Again, I'm not sure if that's the case, but could be down there if they haven't checked it. If they have, then the only place left, I believe, is the vanilla chest. He looks like he's walking his way back up towards the vanilla chest, guys. Cool. Let's see if he makes it there before he runs out of resources. What's interesting about this is that he is going for level 18 on the way, and HighSpirits so far is deciding that 17 is the level. He's just sticking with it. Just continues to fail these dives. Then this level up to 18 may be the answer, and that could do it for Edgeworth. But Edgeworth deciding now, interesting, an hour and 43 minutes in, deciding to take all this time. He's taking all this time to do this. Fighting the red dragon, using the stop spell because they do have heal more. And he's going to work his way through for another 255 experience if he gets them, and he does. 5 for Edgeworth now. He is 750 points away, and you just bang a south here, bang a downward turn, and you're on your way to the vanilla chest. He's very close to the vanilla chest now, making his way down for another level 17 dive where he's running from everything, so he's not gaining experience. Edgeworth still has some resources. I think he will make it to this vanilla chest unless he runs into another red dragon. Down the werewolf, very close to level 18. And another red dragon encounter for HighSpirits. He does get away, so he is on the second to last underground floor, I believe, and he's run from another red dragon. So this could be the lucky run. He's tried 5 or 6 times. And if he can get through this gauntlet, effort by Edgeworth is for naught, because HighSpirits have a decent chance to beat the Dragon Lord if he maintains his MP. Next Knight successfully. Armored Knight now, a little tougher to run from. Armored Knight doing some damage. 31 damage from the Armored Knight. Damage blocks him again. He's in the heal more or not heal more decision. He runs. Blocks him again. Doesn't kill him. Heal more. This is shaping up to be another failed dive, and Edgeworth is on his very last resource, and he does kill the red dragon. Is he going to get to that chest? Oh wait, did he get the chest? He got the chest and it was gold? I'm trying to catch up on the chat. The fighter's ring is hiding down in the bottom of the grave. Okay. take Edgeworth could make up for that with a good level up if he gets more than 2 power than would have gained from the fighter's ring. So he is 1 enemy away, and meanwhile, actually, he's only burned 1 heal more, and he has a stock of herbs. This is so close for HighSpirits now to keep a close count on this damage, guys. And is he going to get ambushed? Is he going to be able to get a good Dragon Lord 1 fight? These are really important things right now for him. And we have level 18 for Edgeworth, and I will try and catch up on what the stats are for level 18 after we look at this fight. So, HighSpirits using some herbs there. Wow, 2 power, but a whole bunch of MP for Edgeworth, and that's definitely enough. Some HP buffer as well. So it's go time for Edgeworth. And he's got 86 defense power, which is enough to defense break the Star Wyvern and the Werewolf now. Obviously for the Dragon Lord 2 fight. Let's see what happens towards the end. HighSpirits methodically fighting and healing. He has almost no chance of double attack. That was probably his best chance there, and he still only had 43 hit points, unfortunately. So he rolls an 11. Attack is a good one at this point. He wants to see 13s and 14s. There's a 13. HighSpirits. Double chance at this. Does the Dragon Lord have 150 HP? Does he have 165 HP? I'm down to here, I think. It's so close. It's really his last chance, I think, because Edgeworth very likely is going to succeed on this dive, level 18. Alright, a low roll there for HighSpirits. He doesn't want to see too many more single digits. Count on what he's done so far for damage. I think this was pretty close going into it. He has another 8 damage. He wants more 13s and 14s, less 8s. Can he get them on these last few attacks? Another 8. Oh, 4 in a row, he just said in his face cam. 4 8s in a row. That is devastating. Does he have enough? How low is the Dragon Lord's HP total? Nobody knows. More. He has 2 more attacks to get this done. Maybe 3 if he's really lucky. Nope. See? Wasn't it? Oh, he gets 1 additional attack. Is this gonna do it? No! It's not enough! Yes. I wish I could tell what the count was. Does anyone have a count? Because maybe, just maybe, he has a high... Oh my goodness, chat telling me 158, so he had about a 50-50 chance on that last attack. Or maybe even better. And that is devastating because Edgeworth has a very good chance. Now, he did burn, I believe, 2 heal mores now on this Red Dragon. Is he going to be able to get through this Red Dragon? He's fighting his way through the Red Dragon now. He's casting Stop Spell. He's fighting his way through. He does not want to leave this up to run luck with a couple of commands, hoping that manipulates him into casting Heal More. It seems to have done the trick. He does not use another Heal More himself. 3 herbs. Now he's down to 2 herbs, and he has 114 MP. I think I saw that he has 130 for attack power. Doesn't have the fighter's ring. The estimation about 104 MP to have a reasonable chance against the Dragon Lord. Now we know that the Dragon Lord is on the high side for HP. I'd like to have slightly better than normal stats. He maybe has 1 more heal more to burn before it starts to become a little dicey. defense power is just enough now. I believe it is exactly at 86, where the Dragon Lord is only able to physically damage you for 48 damage. So he... Now, what HP total it would take for him to get a double attack? He has over 120 maximum now, so he does have a reasonable chance at least one double attack. Room to work with. He did use another heal more. He's using another one now, so he's going to need a double attack. He still can't get away from this red dragon. I wonder if he should have just fought this red dragon, taking 8 or 9 or 10 chances to run, and he's unable to do it. So now HighSpirits gets another chance at it, but again, HighSpirits is still on level 17, and so this dive is less likely to succeed. Edgeworth is back to the castle. A level 17 dive for HighSpirits. He has slightly more experience than he had before, so maybe I wonder if he's going to start to fight some enemies. Obviously from the tougher ones like the Armor Knights, but wow, this agility score is really causing some run problems for both players. And Red Dragon stubbornly blocking them over and over again. I don't have a way of knowing the exact run chances, but they may have like 5% chance to run from a red dragon at this point. It might even be worse. So if it's not that far out of possibilities to have 6, 7, 8 run chances fail in a row. Unbelievable. Both players probably have been looking over at the IRC chat to see if the other player finished for maybe 20 minutes now. And both players are just taking deaths. And HighSpirits looks like he's almost ready to just give up. But his opponent hasn't finished. He's got to try again. This might be 7 or 8 dives failed now for HighSpirits. I've lost track of how many times he's gone into Sharlock. And he has been sticking with this level 17, where Edgeworth finally decided to grind up to 18. The decision that makes the difference. 17 surely should be enough to beat the Dragon Lord, but they cannot get down there with the low agility and the low defense power. Now we see another red dragon for Edgeworth, and he's deciding to fight this one. Cast the stop spell to prevent the heal more from the red dragon. He's going to fight his way through. One more probably. Whoop. He decided that he had enough damage done, so that was enough. With the swag hit, he's going to burn his last 2 herbs. Or he uses 1 herb. He's got 1 herb remaining. And remembered to go back and buy more herbs between his last dives. Spirits went back for herbs. It's one of the things that you can forget when you're frantically trying to re-dive into Sharlock. You might forget your herbs, and they're so important on these difficult dives. For Edgeworth. He's got more than enough MP. He can burn a couple of more heal mores. Instead, choosing to use his last herb, and he uses a regular heal. He has 1 more regular heal that he can use before it affects his heal more total. Still has, I believe, 15 heal mores to work with the attack power. So he's in good shape. Avoid a disastrous run. Dragons. Meanwhile, HighSpirits is halfway down Sharlock again. A small bombardment of blue dragons and star wyverns, both of which can hit him pretty hard. Remember, he's not defense breaking star wyverns at level 17, so even they can cause problems if you're unable to run from them. This is unbelievable, this finish. This has been going on for almost a half an hour, these guys trying to get down to the Dragon Lord. A decent chance now, still with 123 MP. He had quite the heal walk on his way down levels, so he has quite his HP to work with. He's got a couple of heal mores he could burn. Halfway around on the last floor of Sharlock. HighSpirits is about to enter the bottom floor, and he's having an incredibly good dive for level 17. But he finally runs into a red dragon. Is this going to be the one to ruin his day? Maintained all of his MP to this point. He's at 35. Gets lucky, doesn't die, burns the heal more. Earth on the mini boss battle with the Armored Knight. Should be able to out-hit him without healing. Time. Is that going to be a problem? I think he's one hit away. He thinks so as well. He fights. Oh my goodness. I think he's one hit away, but just in case it dodges again, he knows he has a heal more to spare. Successful against the Armored Knight. I don't think he has any herbs to work with against the Dragon Lord 1. But he can use a regular heal along the way, I believe. Uses. Let's see what he does here against Dragon Lord 1 as HighSpirits has burned. Unfortunately, a hurt more from Dragon Lord 1 and another hurt more from Dragon Lord 1. And he does use a regular heal. Good move there to try and conserve the heal more. And he's going to finish him off with 71 hit points. And at 112 MP, he should have enough here to beat Dragon Lord 2. Even if he got ambushed here, I think he could still win. Does not get ambushed. Potentially has a double attack here, but chooses to heal more. That would have been a 25% chance of death or more, maybe slightly more. So, heal more. He should have enough. He would need to have a lot of low rolls for something to go wrong here. Meanwhile, HighSpirits making a beeline for the Dragon Lord. Uses his last couple of herbs before talking to Dragon Lord 1. They're both fighting the Dragon Lord at the same time. Edgeworth with a slight lead by about a minute or two. On both players, obviously. Edgeworth seems to be rolling some single-digit rolls right now. Some MP to spare. And needs big rolls. 98 MP. Ambushed. HighSpirits gets ambushed. He has slightly lower agility. He doesn't know what to do. This is brutal. He's going to have to heal up. And he will win now without hurt more strats unless he gets a lot of 13s and 14s. Edgeworth. Let's fight. These are very long fights. They have low attack powers and lots of MP to work with. Both players. Will HighSpirits decide that he needs to use a hurt more? He basically knows that the Dragon Lord has a high HP total. He kind of knows what he needs to do. If he gets close, hurt more if he has a lot of low rolls. Seems to have enough to win outright. Let's see. Edgeworth rolls another 9. Hopefully he's keeping count. Dragon Lord has a high HP total. So this is super close here. Look at this. Menuing fairly quickly. And with 2 heal mores to spare, takes him down. He has the return spell at his disposal. Get back to Tantegel. Get your GGs out for Edgeworth. In a race that lasted over 2 hours. The winner. And that is 4 wins in a row now, I believe, for Edgeworth. Moving on for a rematch against Mr. Holmes. Each other earlier in this tournament in the winner's bracket, and now they will face off again in the loser's bracket. HighSpirits is able to eke this out on just not quite enough MP, so it seemed. he tries a sleep spell at the last second, and it fails. Okay, well, that was an interesting choice. I believe has the news that he has run out of time on this race. Difficult way for HighSpirits to exit this tournament. Tremendously good race. Tough luck, tough race. HighSpirits, great tournament for HighSpirits. If either of these players has the energy to chat with us after that grueling race here, let's see what happens. Well-deserved accolades in the chat. These were two fantastic runs, guys. Both players played extremely well. I can't even think of a single mistake either player made. It was incredibly close getting to the end game, and then the end game was just craziness. It was just gonna happen, and ultimately, the patient decision for Edgeworth to grind his way up to 18 while he was in Charlock on a failed dive made the difference, because he had a little bit more resources to work with on his level 18 dive than HighSpirits had on level 17. Able to overcome the challenges of those Charlock dives. Welcome. Who do we have here?
Hey, both of us, it seems like.
Both of us.
Wow, what a race, guys. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm not too happy at that one Dragon Lord fight. I've never seen so many low rolls in my life. I never have.
You had a lot of low rolls, and chat was keeping count, and they said that you did 158 damage on that one.
Considering how 8 or 9 of those attacks were 7s and 8s.
Yeah, I think you had 4 8s in a row near the end, so that was brutal. It seemed like it was a very borderline spot because you had to burn a heal more before you got there.
And yeah, Charlock sucked, didn't it?
Chance.
I spent a good 30 minutes in Charlock. What about you, Edge?
Let's see here. It looks like about 30 to 40 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
So besides Charlock, what did you guys think of the seed? I guess we'll start with HighSpirits.
I have this tendency to run into armored knights a lot when they're roaming around on the map, and they don't like me very much.
Yeah, I noticed in this seed, probably the big challenge for you guys was the low HP total. When you did run into fights like that, it was hard to deal with them because you couldn't.
Whoa, there's an echo here, by the way.
Okay. Holmes knows how to fix that because I'm not sure.
I just muted my stream, so that might take care of it.
Okay, so I was saying it seemed like those armored knight fights midway through the race was a particular challenge because of the low HP total. You guys just didn't have enough to withstand 2. We're dealing with about 60 HP at level 12 or 13. So that made it tough for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I kind of stayed in the basement and punched things until level 14.
I'm sorry, but I can't hear you guys because there's something that's horribly echoing in my ear, and no one else says they can hear it. And I don't know what else this is because I don't have anything else open.
Or how to fix that, HighSpirits? Maybe do you want to try exiting and re-entering Discord?
Yeah, let me see. I'll be right back.
So Edgeworth, what did you think about the seed besides those the Charlock challenges? What about the early game?
I thought it was pretty awful all around, honestly. Just with the amount of, and it wasn't just like the armored knights. You ran into golems, you ran into red dragons, and I just felt like it was really gonna be up to RNG to see who runs into who actually makes it across to the town Like when I found Ramaldar, I thought, wonder wonder if HighSpirits made it here a lot earlier. Probably.
Yeah. Welcome back, HighSpirits. How's the audio for you now?
Doesn't sound like it's echoing yet, so
Okay.
sounds better.
Yeah. Issue with the mid game to go along with that was that one red dragon guarding Hawksness. Was you guys both knew that you had to beat that, and it was like you had to be at a pretty high level before you could beat one.
I was just praying that the token was there because I never found the tomb, so I never found the grave. I was just praying that the token was there, and yeah, I was like, I finally got high enough to beat him. Heal more. Ugh.
Yeah, pretty much. And that just meant that you had to burn stop spells on the way down through Charlock too.
I didn't even do that because I was trying to run from him. I wasn't trying to farm experience, and
Now, quick question for you, Edgeworth, because I may have missed it. I saw you plunder the top chests in the grave, but I'm not sure if you ever went to the bottom levels. And
No, I ended up getting murdered and just figured, well, I'll check Hawksness once I hit a high enough level, and then if the token's not there, I'll just go back.
because you were searching around Charlock for the Fighter's Ring, presumably, and it just was nowhere to be found in Charlock, so it has to be in the bottom of the grave. And in a borderline spot like level 17, it seemed like the Fighter's Ring could have made the difference.
Yeah, it certainly would have made the chances higher. I'm curious as to did anybody like run the simulator on what 17? Like the chances?
I don't know if anyone in chat ran a simulator on it. I believe that if you got to the Dragon Lord with full resources, that it was beatable.
yeah, it should have been like
You
nearly
probably
100% if
were a
you had
favorite.
all.
You were a favorite, yeah. Now, just to let you know, HighSpirits, kind of the difference in the end game was, you both had several failed Charlock dives, and on one of those failed dives, he burned 4 or 5 heal mores like on one fight trying to run away. He decided he wasn't going to be able to get there, so he decided that he was going to grind from there up to 18, and he ended up finishing at 18 instead of 17.
Yeah, I started to consider it, but after a while, I thought it's too late. I'm past the point of no return.
Right, I know it. That's what I was saying in on stream. I'm sure both racers must feel that way. That it would just take so long to grind after you've had several failed dives, but that ended up, I think, making the difference because he was, I think, fighting his way through some of the red dragons anyway instead of trying to run. And then so now he just eventually was like, well, let me just get the extra 1500 experience for level 18, and he did that on his way up to try and look for the Fighter's Ring. He looked in the vanilla chest for the Fighter's Ring, so he used that time to grind his way up to 18. So, and you did have a couple of chances there to beat the Dragon Lord on 17. So, who's to say what was the right way to go there? But that's what ended up happening.
Yeah, I had I think 4 attempts, and 2 of them he back attacked me.
Just another issue with that low agility score you guys were dealing with.
Well, isn't it back attack 60 or 33% anyways, just like flat? You have a 66% chance of not getting back attacked.
And you got it both times.
Yeah, there's a lot that
Yeah, you had your face cam on your stream, and I was watching that view of things, and it was just one of the most frustrating seeds I think I've ever seen, just the whole way.
Yeah, like
and the
Dragon
Lord topped it off.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there was like the only floors that didn't have red dragons in Charlock were the first 2. Every other floor had red dragons.
Yeah, and you spent some time on the top floor grinding, so maybe it was like, oh, maybe this isn't going to be such a bad Charlock, and then you just get down past those first couple floors, and there they are. What a crazy ending! If you rewatch this, it was just because you both had so many dives. It was like either one of you could have won, like at any moment. It was just who's going to be able to get there with their resources, and so that they can get it done. It was just crazy. Everybody having to burn heal mores all the way down.
Yeah, every time. I got to the bottom floor a couple of times before I had to start burning heal mores, but yeah. I
the
just
very
yeah,
end, the
no
very
agility.
end,
Ugh.
HP wasn't a problem, so you wonder if a strength agility build may have had an easier time in this particular case. It only happens once in a while when it's like this, but when it is, it's brutal.
Oh yeah, it's kind of a toss up. You never know if you're going to need HP or agility. So either way, you're always flipping the coin and hoping you just get the right outcome every time.
Yeah. Well, a great tournament for you, High Spirits. Sure, it's disappointing to end the tournament now, but sure we'll see a lot more of you in the casual races. And Edgeworth,
Oh, I
then
appreciate it.
definitely great races from you. I didn't see any mistakes. It was just one of those things this time. So
Yeah, I
well
also don't
done.
have the time in real life to do this right for the next week or the last 2 weeks. So it's like, this is so hard for me to even do these races right now. But I'm glad I made it where I did.
Understandable.
And good luck to you, Edge, going forward.
All right, thanks, HighSpirits.
So Edgeworth, that's 4 wins in a row for you, and you actually are going to have a rematch against Mr. Holmes. You guys met earlier in the tournament. What do you think about that one?
This, please don't hurt me. It's this is gonna be really, really difficult, but I don't know. We had a close one last time. I think I don't know. Hopefully, I've improved enough to maybe change the outcome this.
Looking forward to that one myself. That's going to be a great race, and congratulations to you for moving on. That'll be I guess they're calling it the Spectre quarterfinals match in the lower level brackets. There's only, I think, 7 players remaining in the tournament now. I assume, I don't know if anything's scheduled yet, but I assume over the next few days we'll see more races pop up on the schedule because they want to fit a lot of these in um, before the winners bracket final takes place in about a week. So let's look out for more races taking place, and to both racers on a great race. And I guess we will sign off from here. Look out for more races in the future, and have a good evening, everybody.
Yep. Good night.
Thanks.